Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Let me get the microphone close to me. Welcome back once again to JJ's PC Build. You know it is JJ right here. And if this is your first time being on the channel and watching this video, make sure you subscribe. And if you already subscribed, welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds. And also to my veteran subscriber, as always, much love to you for watching all the videos from beginning to end and doing the thing and supporting the channel. Okay, now this video is about the video that I made last about the Livono 510A. Just to let you know. So what happened with the Livono was that it kind of wasn't working. You know, what I mean, kind of not working, I mean, it kind of wasn't working. So the operating system, I went through it, and the operating system was bad in there. So I tried Windows 10. You know, I was just being creative. I went and tried to install Windows 10. And guess what? It just wasn't flickering and flying the way I wanted it to. It worked, believe it or not, and I didn't have any issues with it. But, you know, that's just Windows. I mean, I wanted to get a little bit more adventurous, and I went in to do Windows 11. You know, that's what I wanted to do, Windows 11. So, looking at, you know, what I had cooking, I tried to upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11 on Windows 10 to go up to 11. I tried right here. I tried to do it when I was on the operating system from Windows 10 to Windows 11. It wouldn't go. For some reason, it just kept shutting down. For some reason. So now what I did was I tried to, you know, upgrade it from this right here, you know, restarted it and tried to upgrade it from there, you know, to go up to the upgrade instead of the custom. Seems that, you know, it wouldn't let me go there. For some reason, it just didn't want to go there. So I'm like, okay, what could this be? You know, I spent all day on this. Believe it or not, this is the 6th time me making this video. Believe it or not, this is the 6th time. Okay, I said, I'm just going to tell you all what I experienced. And that's what the video is going to be about, what I experienced upgrading the Livono from Windows 10 Home to Windows 11. And this is what it came down to. Again, I tried from Windows 10 Home to go to Windows 11. It wouldn't go. But I checked for the compatibility. It says it's compatible with Windows 11, but for some reason it just wouldn't install Windows 11. So I got down to the point to where I said, and hear me out, I said, screw it. I restarted the PC and then got up onto Windows 11 installation media right here, and I went custom. I said, well, if it's not going to allow me to do it from Windows 10 itself, it's, you know, it kept shutting it out. So I just said, okay, well, I'm going to erase everything that's on the hard drive, and I'm just going to take and balls it out to Windows 11. Sure enough, I got Windows 11 on this. Okay, the whole idea is to see which way this PC is going to roll. Okay, I wanted to see if this PC will handle Windows 11 having only 8 gigabytes of system memory, 4 of it shared, and believe it or not, it's only got like maybe 4.2 gigs free. And it's running Windows 11. It's not running any programs or anything else. I haven't installed anything. It's just got the Microsoft Edge and nothing else. It's just bare bone. I didn't want to install anything else. I wanted to get all the updates done on Windows 11 for this PC. Now, I'm waiting for it to finish, and believe it or not, it is taking forever. It's probably because it's got a low amount of RAM. And plus, I didn't turbo up the BIOS. You know, I didn't do any of the updates or anything else. So, basically, you know, I might as well go ahead and do the updates for the Livono for this to see which way it's going to really roll, to see if it's going to actually give me what I want. You know, the whole idea of making this video right now to let you all know where I'm standing with this PC and what my thoughts are going to be. I can already tell you, the motherboard's not doing bad. It's doing pretty good. But if I were going to use this motherboard, you know, I don't think this would be a good motherboard to use for this. Not running what I want to run. I'd rather do an upgrade to was it an X3090 or something like that? A Z3090. It would give this processor enough chance because it's the i5-8400 Intel processor. It'll give it a better chance to fight and give it a different case. Give that processor a chance to fight with a different motherboard and put an M.2 SSD drive in there. And, you know, to give it a little bit more fight, probably, I would imagine, since the integrated graphics are not that great, I would put an RX 580 in it. Just for say, 8 gigabytes, RX 580 for $100. So if you get a free PC and I put $100 into it, right? I'm only putting $100 into it. So, and if I get me a motherboard and I put another 50 into it, so that's $150 average, not exact, average. So I get me a $50 M.2 drive, or cheaper, maybe cheaper. So you look at, on an estimate, about $200. Okay, so that's not too bad. So now you got a new motherboard with the new M.2 drive, SSD, and then you got a graphic, you know, a new graphics card to support the processor. So you got the 3 main components that you're going to need. But you're going to need the power supply. Well, that's a good $40-$50, you know, in between there. But which I already have, so it doesn't matter. I already have the case, which that doesn't matter. If I get the motherboard, The RAM, I probably can scratch up. I got probably some RAM somewhere. And if I don't, then I'll probably have to get RAM for this. I don't want 8 gigs of RAM. I would rather have this up to on a motherboard that carries 64 gigabytes of system RAM. If the motherboard carries 64 gigs of system RAM, I'm going to plug it in. You know, and also to look at the speeds that the motherboard gives. If I get an Asus Z390 motherboard or some kind of motherboard, you know, up in close to the 400 series for this processor, it's going to cook. It's definitely going to cook. So I wanted to see if this processor was going to be viable for Windows 11 and do the updates and everything else and get it all squared away, which I'm doing right now, and see if it's going to be viable, you know, if it's going to be worth the investment to take it to the next level. Okay. So far, it didn't cost me anything to get it this far, except for my time. And to take it to the next level, and it's holding Windows 11, and it's doing the updates. The only thing that I didn't care for was that, you know, and this could be because something in the BIOS is restricting it from going up, you know, automatically updating it to that next level, which I'm going to see if, you know, in the BIOS, if there's rebar in the BIOS, probably, you know, take it up to that next level. And also to XMP, if it's got XMP, bring it up to that next level, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, we can take it to that next level. But I want to get Windows all straightened and all installed and everything going on before I decide to move it up to the next level. So that's what I'm doing now. I am getting it all installed. And right now, I'm going to restart it. Even though it's got one downloading, I'm going to restart it and, you know, refresh it so that way, you know, it gives it a better chance to get all the updates in and have it all squared away. Now, when you're doing your Windows 11 update for a PC like this, you know, I'm going to recommend this to you. And I'm really going to recommend this to you. To do it as a fresh install. Because the OEM product key will follow. If you've got Windows 10, I suggest you get the product key for Windows 10 and keep that in hand in case you have a mess up somewhere with your OEM system. So, I got mine. I installed, this is what I had to do all day long. I had to install Windows 10, put in all the updates and make sure it's completely updated with all the bells and whistles, and then go in and get the product key, write it down, so that way I got the product key for Windows 10 for this OEM system. And I got to do the same thing with Windows 11, and I got to get the OEM key for Windows 11 for this system. So I got 2 product keys. You know, even it's legit, believe it or not, it's legit me pulling up the product key for this. It's totally 100% legit because it's paid for. It's already been paid for. So this is just to keep it as a backup just in case. But if you ever go to change the motherboard, then what'll happen is this: you'll lose that product key and it won't make a difference. So if I change the motherboard in this, or I take the processor out and plan it into the new PC, then I'm going to lose the OEM product key because it's not a retail key. It will not follow. So that's what you got to keep in mind when you go to, say, get a motherboard from MSI, Gigabyte, Asus, NZXT, stuff like that, companies like that, because when they sell it to you independently without OEM manufacturing, it's just, your enthusiast build, end of story. You buy the product key for your computer. Now, when they ship this off to like Hewlett Packard, Acer, or something like that, they're going to have what they consider an OEM key. So that's built into the BIOS of your motherboard. But that's the only way you get that product key to update and bring you to Windows 11 without any issues or anything else. So do keep that in mind. Right now, I'm seeing if it's going to do what it needs to do and take it to that next level. This is going to take me a while because it is an 8th gen processor and it's 6 cores, 6 threads. Basically, it's just 6 core period, no hyper threading. I'll figure that out when time comes to see if it will go hyper threading, but it says it on Intel's site it's not, so that's kind of the caveat of bad about this processor, the i5-8400. And also, too, it's supposed to have a restriction on how much RAM you can use with it. It says 32 gigs of system RAM. I think with the motherboard, it'll do 64 gigs. That's what I think. With a different motherboard, it'll do 64 gigs. But when it comes to this system right here, it's only going to do 16. So I got to keep that in mind. Where's my upgradability with this motherboard? Do I have upgradability? Very, very little upgrade. Very, very little. So that tells me that if I want to take this processor to the next level, then I'm best off to get me another graphics card, another motherboard, more RAM, and M.2 SSD, and use this 1 terabyte hard drive as a backup. Small little gaming PC, something to just putter with. You know how that goes. But it's truthfully for, depends on where you want to get one. You're going to spend alone on just trying to get this probably about $180, $200 just trying to get it, probably on the used market. So you spend about $200 trying to get this. What happens when you take a $90 processor and you take and plug it into a better motherboard and then put all the bells and whistles to that, and then ask yourself this question: does it game? I'm sure by the time I get done putzing with this and getting it just the way I want it, it's going to game. It's definitely going to game. There ain't no question about it. And as far as creator work, it might, or it might not. You never know. But as far as the new AAA games that come out, like, Last of Us and all them, you probably can game with it. You probably get good 1080p gaming. Depending on what you want to do for a processor. I mean, not a processor, a graphics card. My bad. And get your drinks and snacks. So, keep that in mind when you're building something like this and you're building it from the ground up and you want to know what you can do. This will accept DDR4 RAM. I've already know what kind of RAM I can get with this. You know, I've already know what kind of motherboard I can get with this. I already know what kind of graphics card I can get with this. I just don't have to get the 580. I can get something better. I'm going to test this with, when I get it all done, I'm going to test it with the 4070. I'm going to tell you that right there. I'm going to test this with the 4070 and see if it rocks. And if it rocks with the 4070, then that gives me the better direction of where I need to go. So, see what I mean by that. You know, this is going to be the testing phase of this. So, once I order the new parts for it, I'm going to make this right here, as y'all can see, right here. This is the PC that I'm working on. It's going to be the Intel build that I was supposed to do, the sleeper build. So I'm going to do a sleeper build in it. And I'm going to upgrade this dual core 2nd gen AMD E-machine into an 8th gen i5 8400 with probably the Asus Z390 and with probably, hopefully, 64 gigs of RAM, coming out at maybe, hopefully, 3200 megahertz or close to it. And have 2 terabytes of hard drive space. Basically, M.2 SSD, 1 terabyte, and the 1 terabyte regular plattered hard drive that I have in here. So that's 2 terabytes. That'll do a little bit of a gaming, I think. What do you all think? Leave a comment down below and tell me what you think about it. Right now, like I said, it handles Windows 11 with bare bones stock what's in here now. So that's telling me that, you know, this processor I can take to the next level. And, you know, now these days you really can't find that many 8th gen processors. You know, I just got lucked into it and figured I'd give it a shot. But I'll tell you what, it's updating like it's supposed to. Windows 11 is different for me, everybody. I run Windows 10 off of my main PC. I have not went up to Windows 11 yet on my main PC. I have too much stuff going on to take my main PC up to Windows 11 right now. So once I get everything straight and the way I want it, I'm going to take it up to Windows 11. But for now, my main PC is Windows 10. And now that I'm making this test PC, and I'm going to use this, you know, I'm going to use this for like a test bench. Hey, what are you going to do? You know, build a couple $100 test bench? Guess what? Test benches alone, you go on Amazon, they're like $300, $400. So I'll just put this one together. I'll get some plexi, make me a stand, you know, and have me a couple $100 test bench. Yeah, it'd be a Z390, but at least, well, you know what? At least it'll be on the Intel side until I upgrade to the next best thing for Intel. Not AMD. Now, AMD is a different story. I got a B450 motherboard. That's about almost equal to the Z390. So that's what I'm going by. Those two are about almost equal with each other. They both are going to have, well, I was going to do 64, but I think I'm going to do 32 gigs of system RAM in both. So you got 32 on one, 32 on the other. They both share DDR4 system RAM. So, we'll go with that. We will go with that. And I know I don't really have anything to show you all today because for the simple fact, my other monitors being used, okay, understand this, my other monitors being used by this Livono, and I can't use that second screen to show you all where we're going to be going. So that kind of stinks a little bit. But once I get done doing the full updating of this PC on Windows 11, I'll figure a way for y'all to see what I'm doing. But I am going to order. I've decided, and I'm just going to, before I go on, I'm just going to get a capture card for when I can plug this PC in so I can show you all what I'm doing. So we can back it up, and even if, I don't know, I just leave Windows 11 in here, and we'll roll from that. And I'll show you all the capability and everything else. I'm gonna need a capture card anyway, so I'm not gonna keep beating myself over the head. We're gonna need it to move on to where we can plug in PCs, test them, and show you on screen what's happening. So that's the whole song and dance right now. But anyway, I'm not going to make this a long video. It's already getting towards 30 minutes. But if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds. And my veteran subscribers, as always, much love to you for all that you do, helping support the channel, watching videos from beginning to end, and doing your thing. So hopefully by the time we do the next time in the next video, we'll have something better going on. So, but also too, do not forget this video I'm going to be posting tonight. I'm going to post this tonight because tomorrow night's graphics card nightmares right here on JJ's PC Builds. So until the next time in the next video, we will see you then. Have a good one and try to get some sleep. Tomorrow's a new day.